The pumpkin cream cheese muffins are back at Starbucks, and today we're making a low-carb version. Hey guys, I'm Myra from Low Carb Love, and every fall we look forward to Starbucks seasonal pastries, but it's kind of hard to swallow 53 grams of carbs. All right, and before we get started on our recipe, I'm gonna make myself a little quick pumpkin spice latte. These are the ones from Super Coffee. Guys, 70 calories, 3 net carbs. They're sweetened with like monk fruit, stevia. They have 10 grams of protein and like only 1 gram of sugar. They're amazing. So I'm gonna pour this in just like over ice. It's already, everything's in it. Look at that. Boom. They're so good. So I'm just going to sip on this while we make our recipe. And I do have a discount code and it gets you 15% off on any Super Coffee drink as long as it's like 12 ounces. Oh my God, it's delicious. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started on our recipe. Okay, so I have all my ingredients laid out. We are using almond flour and coconut flour. We have our powdered sweetener. You can use granular, but I feel like powder just kind of mixes better into the ingredients. Now this is pumpkin puree, not pumpkin pie mix. So you wanna be careful with that because of the carbs. It does make a huge, huge difference. And then we have our eggs, our oil, vanilla, and baking powder. Okay, so we're gonna start off with our almond flour. We have our coconut flour, our powdered sweetener. We have our baking powder. We're gonna give this a nice little whisk just to make sure that all the dry ingredients are well incorporated before we get started on our wet ingredients. Okay, and if you have a sifter, then obviously that's gonna make your life a lot easier. If not, you're going to work them out just like this. So you just wanna make sure you don't have like clumps of sweetener in there, just because once you put in the wet ingredients, it'll be a little harder to get out. Okay, so we're gonna set our dry ingredients aside and let's get started on our wet. So we have our pumpkin, eggs, oil, and vanilla. We're gonna add in our eggs. I like all my ingredients to be room temperature. It just makes it a lot easier to mix everything together. We have our avocado oil and vanilla extract. Let's go ahead and whisk. Our bowl's a little full, so I wanna be careful. Okay, so we're just gonna add some pumpkin pie spice. Really just brings out like the nuttiness in our pastries, and a little pinch of salt. Okay, so dry ingredients, wet ingredients. Now let's mix the two together and get these babies into the oven. Okay, let's toss in our wet ingredients right into our dry. So typically coconut flour is very drying, but we have enough liquids in this recipe where you don't have anything to worry about. I can tell that the texture is gonna be perfect. Now you cannot substitute 1 for 1. So I know some of you might be wondering like, oh, all I have is coconut flour. Can I just use all coconut flour? Or all I have is almond flour? But no, the answer is you cannot substitute 1 for 1. You will ruin your recipe because coconut flour is extremely, extremely dry, and like it literally absorbs so much more liquid than almond flour does. But as you can tell, it looks beautiful, nice and moist. So we're gonna go ahead and get this into our baking dish. So the Starbucks muffins have a cream cheese filling. I wanna know how many of you guys have actually tried them. So comment down below, let me know if you've tried that pastry from Starbucks. If you haven't, then you're in luck because you're gonna make this and you're gonna love it and you're gonna know what everyone else is talking about. But it does come with a cream cheese, like a filling. So that's what we're making right now. We have our cream cheese, sweetener, vanilla, and our egg. And you just wanna make sure that your cream cheese is softened. As you can see, it just like turns into like this creamy, velvety texture. So in here, we're gonna add in sweetener, vanilla. Okay, and then we're using an egg yolk. So I'm just going to get our little egg yolk using this old-fashioned method. So we have our little egg yolk. Boop. Now we're gonna go ahead and just mix everything together. And this is gonna be our cream cheese filling that goes right into our muffins. Okay, so we have our little muffin liners. Now before we fill up our liners, just make sure that your oven is preheated to 375 degrees. Because trust me, it happens to me all the time when I'm baking alone and then I forget to turn on the oven. I'm like, ah! I have to wait until it preheats. So we're gonna go ahead and just line our little muffin liners. Okay, Now we are going to just spray our liners with a little bit of oil, just because we definitely don't want it to stick. So just helps it. Okay, now I'm using an ice cream scooper just to make sure that I get a nice, perfect round shape. And obviously so that they're all equally lined. But if you don't have one, then of course just use a spoon or whatever you have. But this will give you that perfect little boom, muffin, that muffin shape. I could sell these. These are gonna turn out amazing. I mean, would you buy them? Tell me. Healthy muffin, just like S-Bucks. Tastes the same, if not better. Just saying, my humble little opinion. For $5, I'm buying them all day, all day. Give me 6, taking them home. Okay, so just in case you've never tried them, you don't know what they look, this is what they look like. So what I'm gonna do is use the little baby scooper and then just kind of make a little well. The ice cream scooper I felt was like a little too big. So what I'm doing is using a spoon just to make it a little deeper, because we want that cream cheese, we don't just want a little teeny tiny at the top. I feel like you wanna, like when you bite it, you wanna, bite into some of that filling. I guess I'm just gonna use the same spoon that I used to make the little well, just because it's smaller. And I feel like it's just gonna look cleaner. Ooh, it's gonna have a good amount instead of just like a little teeny tiny, Tell me that wouldn't be awesome though, seriously. Like to have a low carb option for pastries at S-Bucks. What? They'd take all my money. That's it, it'd be over. All right guys, so they look beautiful. I'm like, oh, little teary moment. Very proud of these. We're gonna get them in. I can't wait to show you how these look when they come out. You guys are gonna be so excited, just like me. All right, so these are going in for 20 to 25 minutes. We'll check on them in about 20. All right, so we've let these cool down. Now time for the taste test. Oh my gosh, so excited. Should I cut the inside? We're just gonna take a bite, but I want you guys to see. Actually, I'm just gonna take a bite and then you guys could see all the layers. All right, let's go try again. Oh my goodness. It's giving me like pumpkin pie vibes. Really moist. The cream cheese on top. Take a look at this. Perfectly moist. Sweetness is on point. The flavor is everything. If you have not tried the cream cheese pumpkin pie muffin from Starbucks, don't even do it. Make this one here. You guys are gonna absolutely love it. And if you have, then you're gonna be thankful, because now you have a healthier alternative with way less carbs and sugar. All right guys, so I'm gonna leave the recipe in the description below. If you guys like this video, make sure you hit that like button, and don't forget to share not only this recipe, but the channel with your friends and your family that are living a low carb lifestyle or that are just looking for healthier alternatives to their favorite foods. Guys, thanks so much for being here. I love you, and I will see you on my next video. Mwah.